guys, welcome back to the channel. And I'm sorry I'm a couple of days late with regards to this recap. Ready to Love Season 6, Episode 12, Decisions. And this is the finale. The season is officially over. And it wasn't, I would say, as much drama as we had in maybe the last two seasons. But we still gonna talk about it because that reunion, however, that's coming up this week, part one, it looked like it's gonna be a real trip. But before we jump into this recap, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash that like button and drop a comment down in the comment section below. So, I would say with this finale, it probably wasn't the most eventful finale because I mean, pretty much we had got an answer pretty much early on who was going to end up in the end together because of what we saw throughout the season thus far. So, and then everybody, I will say about this particular show is that the cast members have free reign to speak, whether it's about production, whether it's about the journey. They liked it, they didn't like it. They do these lives. They can't give out spoilers for the show, but they're definitely very vocal. So it kind of like mixes it up when you're watching the show and you also listening to the lives. But hey, I'm here for all the transparency. But let's jump into this right quick. So, first off, we are going to start with this couple, and that was Paul and Dakia. So, what we saw in this episode, Paul did meet Dakia's family or people, and between his age and him not wanting kids, um, he didn't strike out. And there was, on the other flip side of this coin, some apprehension, though. And it seems to came a little bit from both sides, both of them. Now, for when it came time to choose each other, what we saw is that Paul and Dakia decide to choose themselves. And mind you, not in a way that kind of rejected per se the other person, but with both of them realizing that they got together a little bit way too far down in the process. So they really didn't have enough time for the build up and everything throughout the season to get to know each other. And pretty much to them, it seemed like it would have been a little bit too soon to commit to the others. And I totally agree with that. And I'm actually glad that, they didn't force it because the biggest thing that I notice, especially I'm always on the platform. So whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, people always wonder if couples are forcing it or faking it. Well, we definitely don't have a question with this one. And I'm glad that in the end, even though they had whatever tiny, teensy, incy, however you want to describe, minuscule amount of a connection, it wasn't enough to push them to a direction whether or not they wanted to stay together and try to build upon something as a couple. And I'm glad they actually saw the truth and they said, you know what? Hey, it was cool. We kind of locked in a little bit too late. And and now we're at the end of the process. And so, yeah, it's time for us to just choose ourselves and move on. So I'm glad that they did that. I would hate for them to say, oh, yeah, I choose you and I choose you. And then we have a whole mess after the season. But, I'm honestly surprised that, I thought maybe it would have been a few more couples or more other connections, but this is who we had at this season at the end. And like I said, I am happy that they were honest about their decisions and decided to choose themselves in the end. And, they, like I said, they ended, very amicably, no issues, no strife, no harsh rejection. And they pretty much hugged it out. They had their little production professionals and they called it a day and they walked away in the sunset separately. So, I'd like to keep an eye on these folks after the season. We still got the reunion part one and part two. So we'll definitely see what's going to happen moving forward with Paul and Dakia. So, next up, let's move into our next couple. And this couple is Carmen and Donovan. So, Donovan got to meet Carmen's parents, who are perhaps, um, yeah, I would say it was pretty grilling and difficult in this particular meeting. Now, one thing about Carmen's dad, he is ex military and he's a Marine, and the mom is a preacher. And then to make things all the more difficult, we saw Donovan revealing that he cheated on his ex wife. And combine that with noting while he believes in God, he really doesn't do religion. And I've heard a lot of that, lately, that people are more spiritual than religious, because sometimes religion, for some people, they feel that it's ritualistic. They want to have a personal connection with God and not through a third party and any other reasons that they have. So, that's pretty common these days with being spiritual and not religious. But I gotta give it to him because that was pretty tough, especially letting your new soon to be, I guess, girlfriend parent who's military and a preacher to say, hey, my last relationship ended because I cheated. And, some people that don't sit too well with. But I got to give him an A for effort when it comes to the honesty part of it. Now, he did mention that there were other underlying circumstances regarding that, and he didn't go into detail. You know, it is what it is, and who knows? Maybe he'll talk about it after the reunions are over or whatever the situation is. And we have to see what happened with these two. But lucky for him, he did win over both of Carmen's parents by the end of this whole conversation. And from what it seems, though, she made her decision already before he even met her parents. So she was already locked in with Donovan. And so they did end up together. And then we even saw how Donovan proposed a trip to kind of, get past this whole thing with the show and start on their own journey. So a lot of people are not feeling, like I say, I kind of survey what people are actually thinking in regards to, cast members or whatever they saw on the show. They are not feeling this couple. Now, I wish them the best. If in fact they are, going to be successful, I'm going to keep an eye on them. I'm a love, romance, and happiness type of person. If it works out for you, fine. If not, then hey, you gave it a go. But a lot of people are calling this relationship fake, and I'm like, give it a chance. If it's not, then it'll come out. It'll reveal itself. So um, she seemed like she's all in. And I know there was this whole triangle because of, another connection that he had with Sabrina. And of course, that didn't work out, and then, we lost the other guy. I forgot his name last week. So she was no longer part of the equation. So now it's just, of course, Donovan and Carmen. And she said she felt like Celie on no, Sugar Avery on The Color Purple saying, "I's married now. That's how I feel. I's married now." And I'm like, okay. Well, let's hope that that's where they end up. Hey, I'm all here for it. If in fact they go the distance, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. But this is pretty much how their journey ends. So they decided to end up together, and she got a trip. Or both of them get to go on a trip together. We got to see if they actually go on that trip too. So we will definitely see. So last but not least, let's talk about this couple right here. Now, they have been the season favorites pretty much because their connection started pretty much earlier than everybody else. And they've been pretty much locked in. Now there was this whole thing with Clifton, Joy, and I think it was the Kia, and then of course that didn't work out. I could be wrong, correct me in the comments. But I knew that he had another connection somewhere. But I will say that Joy exhibited a lot of confidence throughout this season. Because sometimes when you have multiple connections, somebody can there's a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of low key jealousy, and stuff like that. I didn't see that at all with Joy. Joy just decided to go through the process. She trusted her connection with Clifton, and it paid off in the end. So let's talk about these two. So Clifton met up with Joy's sister, who she adores him, but she did point out about the problem of the distance because remember, she's supposed to be going out of the country, which is something, of course, both Clifton and Joy did already recognize was going to be an issue. So this is not a new topic for this couple, but it's something that definitely kept lingering over their heads. And while there is a promise of a little hanky panky and sex on the table and making it work, even when they choose one another, I guess, we won't know if the couple, who have pretty much been rocking together since the beginning will last once off the camera, as things are not as convenient. But, they have definitely been, showing a little what's going on. So, I got a couple of shots that, I want to share with you guys. But with these two, I'm wondering how Clifton is going to deal with the distance. He did say he liked to travel when we heard him say that earlier this season. I guess the question will be, is he going to be okay or will he have the ability to be able to kind of make multiple trips wherever Joy is going to be? So they got to work it out, and I'm hoping that they do. Um, of course, next week in the next two episodes with the reunion part one and part two, we will find out if any of these two couples stay together. We only got two out of this season. Um, Last season there were four. Now there possibly two. I know one for sure because Cornelius and Camille are still together. They didn't make it to the end. They were eliminated and they decided to stay together after the show. But and I know Nye and Zadia were dating. We lost Dante and Aisha, and I don't know what happened to oh god, what's the girl name? Pretty girl. What's the name? Oh jeez. And I follow on Instagram, but the other couple. Drop it in the comments who I'm talking about. I don't even think they last past the show. I didn't see too much of them. They might be still dating. If not, if so, they're keeping it quiet. But if they are, it's their business, If they're broken up, I don't know. But I do know that further after the season, we had two couples that continue to stay together. And of course, like I said, Camillus and Camille are still together. So hopefully that's the same thing that's going to happen with Joy and, Clifton. And, here's the thing, sometimes when the season went too well for certain couples, they tend or being too perfect, you know, um, it really heightens things, and so then when something happens, there's a big letdown. Um, that's why I just one thing about the shows that I do a recap, I like to see not only the journey from the beginning, but I also like to see the progression too. It's drama is one thing; it keeps people talking, it keeps people interested, and keep the messiness going. But I like to see the growth and progression of the couples, and a lot of times we don't get to see that because for whatever reasons, producers don't think that's juicy enough. So, I'm hoping that we get to see that after the show. We get to see what happened at the reunion, with both of these couples, Carmen and Donovan and Joy and Clifton. Um, are they going to get past the whole thing with the distance? Which I think they can if they can work it out. I mean, they're older. It's not like I don't think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but having smaller children, if any at all, where you have to worry about traveling and where the kids gonna be, and I got a kid, stuff like that. So, this is an older couple, so there might be a little bit more flexibility and freedom if their children are older, if they don't have any children at all. And especially I gotta see what Clifton does for a living, but hopefully it gives him the flexibility where, he can make sure that he, build on his relationship and connection that he has with Joy through travel. We have to see. As for, of course, what happens after that, they actually posted this hot picture. And I posted this on my Instagram. I posted it on my Instagram stories, and both Joy and Clifton reposted it in their stories because I was talking about how fire this picture is. I think this picture is absolutely hot and sexy with these two. So I love stuff like this. This is just my thing. I like to see good hot romance with people and couples and things like that. So obviously, if they're still posting, there's a chance that they're still together. And I think the season was filmed right after the DC season. So you're talking probably like November, December, maybe they got together. So they've been together for a good, probably almost 5 to 6 months, technically, if we're up to April. So we'll see, and they'll probably do some more lives and stuff once everything is complete. Once the entire uh, reunion sessions are episodes are over. Um, so I honestly think that it was an okay season. If I had to, I'm here for the love and the romance. I just wish they would have had more connections with other couples. Originally, I thought there was this huge connection with Laverne and Ace, but that didn't go well. And obviously, there's some drama with Laverne at the reunion, which we'll get to see. Um, yeah, I was, I don't know. You would think with 30, 40, and 50 years old, people know, they'll be ready to kind of pick somebody, but maybe there's somebody is just not there. I mean, they select the folks and the folks just don't connect with each other. So, it's unfortunate, but at least we got two, one, possibly two, or two. We got to see what happened with Carmen and Donovan. So, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that the two couples that ended in the finale are going to last? Do you think that you know, Dakia and Paul, was that the right move or should they have to try to see where it could go? Me personally, I'm thinking like if this ain't it, it ain't it. But some people, they might have had a wishful thinking. So let me know your thoughts. So stay tuned for this weekend. Again, I apologize. I'm a few days late. I was on a vacay this weekend as it was my birthday this past weekend. So I took some time to myself. So now I'm back in action. Also, you guys, my TikTok, Romance Review TV 1, is blowing up. I'm posting everything from Ready to Love clips, Married at First Sight, Boston, Married at First Sight, Australia Season 9. Anything related to the shows that I recap and the conversation, engagement, the likes. We got videos trending almost at 100K over there. So I'm posting all of the good stuff over there as well. So if you have TikTok, follow me on TikTok. I'm at Romance Review TV 1. Follow me on Instagram. I always post over there as well. And, I'm at Romance Review TV. And of course, here on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. So until the next video, we will see you soon. Bye.